I am now officially speechless.
Bars! Bars! What? Typically, when I do a reaction video, it's a spoken word or rap, but I decided to switch things up a bit, specifically because one of my patrons, Jason Ryan, thank you very much by the way, decided to recommend this video to me, all right? And this is Nikky Finney's 2011 National Book Award in Poetry Acceptance Speech, all right? Now, I watch a lot of acceptance speeches in poetry. I know a lot of what my channel is focused on is spoken word, right? So it seems like that's all I focus on, but in reality, I do a lot of traditional poetry on the side as well, trying to get my written work published and things like that. And I like to watch acceptance speeches a lot. So when this was recommended to me, I was like, let's go, you feel me? Now, one thing I will say is I'm not always gonna take recommendations. However, I do give a bit of priority to patrons. So if that's something that interests you, definitely become a patron. It doesn't guarantee I do your recommendation, but it at least guarantees that I see it, because I get recommended a whole bunch of things all the time. It gets lost in the ether on the internet, you know what I mean? But becoming a patron ensures that I at least see the message, you feel me? All right, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Lithgow.
To present the National Book Award for Poetry.
And by the way, I should say this for those of you who don't know, this is a very, 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 very prestigious award, okay? Like, this is a very prestigious award. And if I remember correctly, it comes with like a monetary gift. Like, there's a monetary award that comes with it. I'll put like down somewhere here what that monetary award is. And it's one of the best accolades you could get, all right? So it's no joke.
In the presence of John Ashbery is Elizabeth Alexander. Elizabeth's most recent book is Crave Radiance, New and Selected Poems, 1990 to 2010. She is the author of 5 previous books of poetry, including American Sublime, which was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, and 2 books of essays, including The Black Interior. Her awards and honors include the Anisfield Wolf Lifetime Achievement in Poetry Award, the Jackson Poetry Prize, and a Guggenheim Fellowship, among many others.
And a Guggenheim?
Ladies, may we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
Okay, so one thing y'all might not know is that I was actually planning on putting out a video at the beginning of this year talking about the most prestigious awards in poetry. Not only the most prestigious awards, but also the most prestigious memberships, you know what I mean? And included in that was the National Book Award and the Guggenheim. Like, I was planning on going in depth on how you achieve those things, what people are known for having achieved those things, you know what I'm saying? It's a real shame I never got to making that video. It was around there I started going more towards spoken word and rap reactions as opposed to traditional poetry, you know what I mean? I might get back to that and eventually make that video though, who knows?
Others. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce Elizabeth Alexander.
First, I want to say just thank you to the National Book Foundation for its continued support of poetry. Every poem, every book of poetry carries voices and histories and traditions along with it. Each book of poems takes a reader into an engulfing, discrete world of language, yet each also rises from ancestral voices, fellow poets and poems, strange musics converging in the present ear. We think our 5 beloved books speak across time. We think that each gives us a snapshot of American noise, a sip, a taste, a quaff, a feast. Our work was very hard. I'm so proud to have worked with judges of such intelligence, heart, and integrity. We didn't turn from difficult conversations, I promise you. We listened to and learned from each other. We came up with a list of 5 that we feel gloriously represents the brilliance of American poetry today. And so I want to sincerely thank my fellow judges, Thomas Sayers Ellis, Amy Gerstler, Kathleen Graber, and Roberto Tejada. And so finally, we had to choose. The 5 finalists are Nikky Finney, Head Off and Split, Tri-Quarterly, an imprint of Northwestern University Press, Yusef Komanyaka, The Chameleon Couch, Farrar, Straus, and Giroux, Carl Phillips, Double Shadow, Farrar, Straus, and Giroux, Adrian Rich, Tonight No Poetry Will Serve, Poems 2007 to 2010, W.W. Norton, and Bruce Smith, Devotions, University of Chicago Press.
Whew, okay. So these are the top 5 nominees. We already know who won, and it's in the title, you know what I'm saying? But wow. All right, dang. One day, I swear, I've never written a book of poems. I've only gotten about 6 poems published in my life, so I got a lot to do, right? But dang, this just kind of gives me a vision of what I want in the future. We'll see where that goes, but godly. One thing I will say though, Elizabeth Alexander winning both the National Book Award and the Guggenheim. Like, I knew she was no joke, but dang, that's some paper right there. That's some paper right there.
You hearing me?
Hey.
Dude. Screw it.
Don't play with me.
The National Book Award for Poetry goes to Nikky Finney. Head Off and Split.
Yeah. I want to know what this book of poems is about. I'm really curious. I hope she goes into detail about it, because the title makes me think of lynching, you know what I mean? Which is kind of dark. We'll see. Ah, there she is. Yeah. Oh man, she's overwhelmed with emotion. You can tell. Yo, I don't blame her. Yo, these are 2 legends right here. Godly. It's all good. Take your time.
We begin with history. The Slave Codes of South Carolina, 1739. A fine of $100 and 6 months in prison will be imposed for anyone found teaching a slave to read or write, and death is the penalty for circulating any incendiary literature.
Incendiary literature meaning literature that, advocates for the freedom of slaves and things like that, or the empowerment of black people in general. Yeah, the slave codes were rough. We're not taught about that enough in school. I didn't even know about the slave codes till I went to college. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Like, the fact that it took that long. Anyway.
The ones who longed to read and write but were forbidden, who lost hands and feet, were killed by laws written by men who believed they owned other men. Words devoted to quelling freedom, insurgency, imagination, all hope. What about the possibility of one day making a poem? The king's mouth and the queen's tongue, arranged to perfection on the most beautiful paper, sealed with wax and palmetto tree sap, determined to control what can never be controlled, the will of the human heart to speak its own mind. Tonight, these forbidden ones move around the room as they please. They sit at whatever table they want, wear camel-colored field hats and tomato-red kerchiefs. They are bold in their Sunday go-to-meeting best. Their cotton croaker sack shirts are black washpot clean and irreverently not tucked in. Some have even come in white Victorian collars and bustiers. Some have just climbed out of the cold, wet Atlantic just to be here.
Oh my God. I'm just getting this vision based on her illustration of like the black ancestors just coming in with what they were wearing at that time, just into this auditorium in order to witness this moment. You know what I mean? Godly. Ah, that's crazy.
We shiver together. If my name is ever called out, I promised my girl poet self, so too would I call out theirs. Two, Parnisha Jones, Marianne Jankowski, Northwestern University Press. This moment has everything to do with how serious, how gorgeous you do what you do. A.J. Verdell, editor partner in This Language Life, you taught me that repetition is holy. Courage can be a daughter's name, and two is stronger than one. Papa, chief opponent of the death penalty in South Carolina for 50 years, 57 years married to the same Newberry girl. When I was a girl, you bought every incendiary dictionary, encyclopedia, and Black history tome that ever knocked on our Oakland Avenue door. Mama, dear Mama, Newberry girl, 57 years married to the same Smithfield boy. You made Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthdays out of foil, lace, cardboard, paper mache, insisting beauty into our deeply segregated Southern days. Adrienne Rich, Bruce Smith, Yusef Komonyaka, Carl Phillips, simply to be in your finalist company is to brightly burn. National Book Foundation.
The respect for her, I don't want to call it competitors, but you know what I mean? Those who were aspiring to get the same award, you know what I mean? Just showing respect to them like that, that's dope. Man, I'm telling you, humility, come on now. That's one of the best virtues to possess.
National Book Foundation and National Book Award judges. There were special high school English teachers who would read and announce the highly anticipated annual report even if it was stowed way down deep in some dusty corner of our tiny Southern newspaper. Dr. Gloria Wade Gales, great and best teacher of my life. You asked me on a Friday, 4 o'clock, 1977. I was 19 and sitting on a Talladega College wall, dreaming about the only life I ever wanted, that of a poet. Miss Finney, you said, do you really have time to sit there? Have you finished reading every book in the library? Dr. Katie Cannon, what I heard you say once haunts every poem that I write. Black people, you said, were the only people in the United States ever explicitly forbidden to become literate. I am now officially speechless.
Bars! Bars! What? Bars. Yo, and I'm telling you, like, regardless of your race, you should be really instilling reading into your kids. Very important, all right? Like, because that was a way of, like, holding power from those who lacked it, right? Not allowing them to read. And we take that for granted all the time nowadays.
Well, there's going to be 2 more acceptance speeches tonight, and I don't want you 2 winners to be intimidated.
I know, right?
But that was the best acceptance speech for anything that I've ever heard in my life.
Same! It was a literal poem! God dang! That was a poem, not a speech. Or a combination of both, I guess.
It's also the loudest I've heard anyone cheer for an award for poetry.
Right?
Isn't that wonderful?
That was amazing. Yo, I might need to get my hands on that. I might need to get my hands on that literature right there because, come on now. That was phenomenal. I'm not actually familiar with Nikky Finney's work. I'm familiar with her by name, but that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Okay, that might have to change. You feel me? Okay, thank you so much, Jason Ryan. You the man.
You the man. You the man. You are the man.
I really appreciate you for recommending this. Wow. All right. For those of you who want to make more recommendations, you know what to do. Join my Patreon. Now, I'm not saying I won't take a recommendation that's just in the comment section. It's just going to be harder for me to find it in general. You know what I mean? Just because I get a lot of comments every day. Yeah, so your best chance is to become a patron. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and deuces.